All right, we are live. I couldn't see it on my computer, but now I see it. So today we are going to talk about sailing La Vagabonde, topping 1 million subscribers. Hi, I'm Linus Wilson, creator of Slow Boat Sailing, and I've interviewed many of the top sailing channels. Unfortunately, not Riley and Elena, but they have broke all boundaries. First channel to top 100,000 subscribers, first channel to top 1 million subscribers. Nobody thought it was possible for such a narrow thing as sailing to top 1 million subscribers. Congratulations to Elena, Riley, and baby Lenny for doing that. How did they do that in less than 5 years? Well, I think it was a lot of hard work on Elena's part, a lot of great editing, a lot of creativity, and a lot of good captaining by Riley. And they've just gone from strength to strength. You know, when they switched boats from their Beneteau to the Outremer 45, I think a lot of people thought, hey, they're not gonna they're not gonna be able to uh, sustain that. That a lot of people are going to drop out. The opposite actually happened. They just went up and up and up in terms of subscribers and views. They passed the granddaddy of all sailing channels, Sailing SV Delos, earlier this year in terms of the number of views. So at this humble slowboat sailing channel, we have 1 million views. We were so happy to get that. But they have 150 million views. So maybe the next mark they're looking for, the next hurdle is 1 billion views. The first channel to have 1 billion views about sailing. Uh, they've done it by having a straight up sailing vlog that through their popularity of their story about sailing around the world, first sailing the Med, then sailing across the Atlantic, sailing across the Pacific to New Zealand, then buying a new boat and starting all over in the Med, crossing the Atlantic, and then having a baby. So the number 2 sailing vlog in terms of subscribers and number of views, SV Delos, has been doing this for a lot longer, are expecting their baby any day. We know it's going to be a girl. So Lenny's a boy. The Delos baby's going to be a girl. Supposedly there's not been a name picked out. The last time they said we'll probably find out after the baby's born what the name is. I solicited name requests on the prior video. Currently, the slow boat, an Island Packet 31, which you saw on the sailboat, is in New Caledonia. You can see the pictures in the background. Those are from, of course, lovely Bora Bora. So we spent a lot of time in Bora Bora. We actually had problems with our propeller shaft that I was trying to get, and I spent a lot of time getting parts and working on the engine in Bora Bora. It did end up working out, and we got in. This is from season 3 of Slow Boat Sailing. It's not been released. Of course, Riley and Elena are currently in the Bahamas, and I think their plan is for hurricane season is to try to outrun any storm. So they've been in the Bahamas, but they also probably go back to Florida quite a bit, and probably will not be as adventurous with the young Lenny aboard. One of the things I've mentioned in our videos in the past is that we started sailing with Sophie, obviously not long distance cruising, but day sailing with Sophie when she was 6 weeks old. And I think Lenny's got a similar amount of experience, although he's been a full-time liveaboard for most of that time. So we just had Jana and Sophie visit the slow boat here in Noumea, New Caledonia. We just hauled out a few days ago. We had a broken engine mount. I didn't know it. We were having kind of propeller alignment issues, and the propeller was getting uncoupled. But I had we've had these issues, and I've been trying to take care of them. But when we were in Tonga, I asked them to replace our propeller shaft and mounts, and they refused to do that because they just really are not. It's just a storage yard there in Tonga. They're not really set up for that type of stuff, I think, and they weren't interested in the job. But in Nomiya, it's a very good marine sector. I'd say that the marine services are probably better here than Tahiti, and so outside of Australia and New Zealand, I don't think you could be at a better place for marine services here. And I'm so glad that they were able to put the engine in. We got it running yesterday, and really, I probably had too long a time between when Jana and Sophie, my wife Jana, and when I'm going back. So I'm going back in about a week. Uh, so I think I got most of the stuff done, but I'm working on kind of little projects right now here in Nomiya. So it's this cruising season here in the South Pacific. We don't get tropical storm season until like October or something. It's really the winter time. So while y'all in the United States and Europe are getting the heat waves, it's about 70 degrees during the day, maybe about in the low 60s at night. Got to put on the blanket at night, but it's a pretty just ideal weather. Supposedly Nomiya's on the dry side. It was really wet when I came here at first, but since then it's been relatively dry. We've had pretty nice weather. We got a nice day out today. I'd show you, but I'm just on the computer right now. Um, so there's some other news with the top sailing vloggers. I think Rand Sailing, they've got about 80,000 subscribers. The Swedish couple. So they are planning on selling their boat, and I think they're going for a bigger one. I think Sailing Yacht Ruby Rose is also going for a bigger boat. I think if you've been following around Sailing Doodles, Bobby has been between boats for over a year, at least since Hurricane Maria, when he sold his boat after it was damaged in Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. And then he had this very long distance captaining position to Thailand, and now they're kind of hopping between boats. So it's kind of hard to keep track of their locations right now. I don't know if they ever will buy a boat or not, but they still do a great job on Sailing Doodles, and you can hear about Bobby's story on the Slow Boat Sailing podcast, as with Sailing SB Delos' story and the story of Gone with the Wynns. So Gone with the Wynns is another boat that's currently in the South Pacific. They are in the South Pacific with, I'm just going to check the chat here. Yeah. Oh, Rand Sailing is having a baby, Phil and Lyra says. Oh, yeah. And, well, that happens. You kind of run out of time. You get to your mid 30s and you got to decide if you're going to have kids or not. So I think a lot of sailing vloggers are kind of in that situation, especially the more popular channels. Of course, we didn't start sailing until after Sophie was conceived, but not before. We started sailing before she was born. So Sophie's about 8 now. So the Slow Boat's home port is in New Orleans. We're in New Caledonia, which is 800 nautical miles from Bundaberg, Australia. So next season, our plan is to sail to Bundaberg, Australia in our island packet 31, and then sail up the coast, maybe to like Mackay, Australia. I don't know. It just depends on how it is. Australia is a big place. It's a continent. So I think it's going to take a long time. But we're going to kind of go the inside the Great Barrier Reef route next season. So I might be like, we're gonna take on crew for the passage, and then maybe I'll just sail the coast alone until Jen and Sophie arrive about the same time next year. Uh, so there's been kind of a lull on the channel. I think we've only had one video since I started sailing, but I think we'll probably pick up a little bit more if I can think of good ideas. But I'm just so amazed by what Sailing La Vagabonde did. They did what nobody else expected could be done in such a niche market, and they've really introduced so many people to the sport, pastime, the lifestyle of sailing, and for that they should be congratulated. That we've got a lot more sailors coming in to the pastime, to the sport, to the lifestyle because of Riley and Elena, and Elena's tireless efforts editing those videos and just coming up with great stories every week. So you can't say enough. Congratulations to them. Wonderful work. Let's see what else we got going on in the chat there. Yeah. Yeah. So we got the Monkey Rock down there. We got Phil and Lyra and Dave Brown. Thanks for coming aboard the slow boat here in Nomia, New Caledonia. I'm going to sign off for now. Have some fun on the water. Check out the Slow Boat Sailing podcast if you haven't already, and check out some of our awesome videos here on Slow Boat Sailing. And congratulate Riley and Elena at Sailing La Vagabonde.